So, hello everyone, my name is Anshuman, and today I'm going to talk about the topic the falling rupee. So, let us start. In January 1991, one US dollar cost just rupees 17, but today it costs nearly rupees 94. That is not just a number on a screen, it is a story of a currency that has quietly lost over 80% of its value in 34 years. And right now, the fall is accelerating. So, what is depreciation? Yeah. What is depreciation? So, what exactly is currency depreciation? Simply put, when the rupee depreciates, it means more rupees are needed to buy $1. It reflects excess supply or weak demand for the domestic currency in foreign exchange markets, and it affects inflation, trade, debt, and everyday prices all at once. So, coming to the scale of the problem, the scale of the recent depreciation is alarming. The rupee depreciated by about 9% in the financial year 2025-26, reaching rupees 93.88 per USD. What makes this stand out is that it happened despite India's robust GDP growth of around 8%. Something deeper is clearly wrong. So, what can be the causes? So there are three key reasons behind this fall. They are the trade deficit, the foreign capital outflows, and the US tariffs and trade uncertainty. Coming to the first one, the trade deficit. India imports far more than it exports. In October 2025 alone, merchandise exports dropped 11.8%, while imports surged 16.6%. Gold imports grew by nearly 200% in that same month. So when we buy more from the world than we sell, we need more dollars, and that weakens the rupee. So coming to the next one, foreign capital outflows. Foreign portfolio investors withdrew $18.5 billion from Indian equities through 2025. When foreign capital exits, demand for dollars rises and the rupee falls further. Global investors are chasing higher returns elsewhere, particularly in US tech and AI stocks. So the third one is US tariffs and trade uncertainty. India faces US tariffs of 50%, the highest globally, compared to an effective tariff of around 16% on ASEAN country economies. The lack of a finalized India-US trade deal has shaken investor confidence and added enormous pressure on the rupee. So, what can be the impact? So, what does this mean for ordinary Indians? When the rupee falls, everything imported becomes more expensive. Fewer electronics, edible oils, fertilizers. That feeds directly into inflation. A persistently falling rupee can create a perception of macroeconomic weakness, discouraging long term foreign investment. Indian companies with dollar denominated loans also face heavier repayment burdens. So the poor are hit hardest through rising prices of food, fuel, and daily essentials. So the silver lining, but there is a silver lining. Now, a weaker rupee is not entirely bad. India's IT exports, textiles, and pharma become cheaper for foreign buyers, becoming their competitive, boosting their competitiveness. NRI remittances also fetch higher value in rupee terms, providing relief to millions of families. But these benefits are narrow and limited to specific sectors. The pain felt by common Indians through the inflation and rising costs is far more widespread. So, what is the way forward? The solution cannot simply be a weaker rupee to boost exports. India's trade strength must ultimately come from higher productivity, diversified exports, and strong institutions, not a falling currency. India needs to reduce its oil and gold import dependence, attract stable long term foreign direct investment over volatile portfolio flows, expand its manufacturing base, and internationalize the rupee through platforms like UPI globally. The Economic Survey 2025-26 itself acknowledges that rupee is punching below its weight and calls for structural changes to fortify India's external sector. So the rupee is more than just a currency. It is a mirror of India's economic health. A strong India needs a stable rupee, and that requires not quick fixes but deep structural reform. The question is not why the rupee is falling. The question is what are we going to do about it? Thank you. That's all about.